Listen carefully, there are moments in life when the alarm of destiny begins to ring. You may ignore the alarm of your phone, but you cannot afford to ignore the alarm of your destiny. Many people are alive but not awakened. Many are moving but not advancing. The greatest tragedy is not death, it is to be alive and yet asleep. Today is not just another day, it is a call to awaken. Life is not waiting for you. Time is not waiting for you. Every day you remain asleep in purpose. Opportunities are being given to others who are awake. There are doors you should have entered, relationships you should have sustained, victories you should have won. But sleep has kept you where you are. Awakening is not just shouting or clapping. It is when your spirit comes alive to destiny. It is when you say, enough is enough, I cannot keep living like this. I must rise. The truth is this: until a man is awakened, even prophecy will look like a lie, because the word of God cannot work in a sleeping vessel. But the moment you awaken, grace begins to flow, direction begins to come, and restoration begins to happen. So I announce to you, this is your moment. This is your day. God is sounding the alarm of destiny again. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't postpone your rising. Every great man you admire today had an awakening moment. Beloved, it is not too late. No matter how deep the sleep, no matter how far the delay, there is still hope. Your future is still intact, and the power of God can still reposition you. The greatest tragedy is to be alive but spiritually asleep. Think about it for a moment. You see people moving around, eating, working, even laughing, yet deep within them there is no spark, no vision, no sense of purpose. They are alive, yes, their heart is beating, their lungs are breathing, but their destiny is silent. That is a greater tragedy than physical death. When a man dies, he is gone. But when a man is alive and yet asleep inside, his life becomes an endless cycle of motion without progress. Have you ever seen someone working tirelessly year after year, but nothing changes? They wake up, rush into traffic, sit in an office they do not love, give all their energy, and come back home too tired to think. And when you ask them what their dream is, what their vision is, they cannot even remember. This is not because they are lazy. It is because they are asleep in destiny. They are functioning but not awakened. Life is not about survival, it is about meaning. The painful reality is that many are existing but only a few are living. You can exist without vision, but you cannot live without awakening. To be alive and spiritually asleep is like holding a lamp without oil. It looks useful, but when darkness comes, it is powerless. Look at daily life. How many people do you know who are just waiting for the weekend to feel alive? Who need entertainment parties or social media to distract them from the emptiness inside? They laugh on the outside, but when they are alone, they know they are stuck. They are asleep, not physically, but in purpose. The tragedy is that the world is moving, opportunities are flying, doors are opening, and while others are seizing them, the one who is asleep remains at the same spot. Let me ask you, how many times have you said, I will start tomorrow, and that tomorrow never came? How many ideas have you carried in your heart for years, but fear, laziness, or comfort kept you from taking the first step? Every time you postpone your rising, you are asleep. And the danger is that time does not wait. Life does not pause until you are ready. While you are sleeping, someone else is awake, and they are taking the place you should have taken. Think of a student in class. The teacher is giving instructions that can determine the success of the exams, but this student is asleep. Everyone else is writing, learning, asking questions, but this one is dozing off. When the exams come, the results will show who was awake and who was asleep. That is exactly how destiny works. Every day, life is teaching, life is opening doors, life is giving opportunities, but only those who are awake can take advantage of them. Being spiritually asleep is like being in a house on fire, but you are still snoring on the bed. The danger is real, the smoke is filling the air, the flames are spreading, but you are not aware. You only wake up when it is too late. And many people wake up in life when opportunities are already gone, when strength is wasted, when time is no longer on their side. That is why it is a tragedy. You must understand that awakening is not just about praying or shouting. It is about becoming conscious of who you are and why you are here. It is refusing to live like a wanderer, refusing to let life push you anywhere it wants. It is deciding that enough is enough. I cannot keep wasting years. I cannot keep waiting for luck. I cannot keep envying others. I must awaken to my own journey. Every great man you admire was once at a point of slumber until they awakened. Some of them woke up from poverty, some from mediocrity, some from fear. They decided that life would not continue like this. And the moment they awakened, resources began to come. Helpers began to show, strength began to rise. So the real tragedy is not sickness, it is not poverty, it is not even failure. The real tragedy is to be alive, walking, talking, eating, laughing, and yet inside you are asleep to your destiny. Because until you awaken, nothing changes. And until you awaken, you remain busy but not effective, active but not impactful, moving but not advancing. That is why the greatest tragedy is not death, it is to be alive but spiritually asleep. Destiny has an alarm and it is ringing now. Just like your phone alarm that goes off in the morning, destiny has its own alarm. You know that feeling when you set your alarm for 6 a.m. and when it rings you are still tired, still heavy, still wanting to pull the blanket over your head. But deep down you know if you keep ignoring it, you will be late for school, late for work, late for life. That is exactly how destiny works. It does not wait for you to be comfortable. It does not wait until you feel ready. When the alarm of destiny rings, it is a call that must be answered immediately. Many people keep pressing the snooze button on destiny. They hear the sound, they feel the pull. They know inside that something more is calling them, but they silence it with excuses. I am not ready yet. I don't have enough money. What would people say? Maybe later when things are easier. And while they are pressing snooze again and again, time is moving. Have you noticed that no matter how many times you press snooze, the morning does not pause? The sun still rises, the clock still moves, and eventually you realize you have wasted time. Destiny is like that. Every snooze you press on your calling, every excuse you give, every delay you allow, life keeps moving forward and opportunities keep slipping away. Sometimes the alarm of destiny does not sound comfortable. It may come in the form of pain, in the form of disappointment, in the form of rejection. You may lose a job, and while you are crying over the loss, that alarm is saying, wake up, there is more in you. You may face betrayal, and instead of letting bitterness bury you, that alarm is saying, rise, you are stronger than this. Many of the painful events in life are not punishments, they are alarms. Alarms are never sweet, they are never enjoyable, but they are necessary to pull you out of sleep. Look at how many people ignored the alarm in their heart until it was too late. Think about the person who knew they had a talent, but kept it hidden because of fear. They watched others rise while they stayed in the shadows. They silenced the alarm with self-doubt. Years later, they looked back and realized they had the gift, but wasted the time. The alarm was ringing, but they'd ignored it. On the other hand, look at people who listened to the alarm of destiny. They were ordinary, unnoticed, even underestimated. But one day they said enough. They refused to hit snooze again. They woke up to their dreams, their vision, their assignment. And the moment they responded, life began to align. Helpers began to come, doors began to open. Strength they never knew they had began to flow. Everything changed because they responded to the alarm. Sometimes destiny's alarm rings in small whispers. It may be that persistent idea you cannot shake off, that passion that keeps you awake at night, that inner voice that keeps saying, there is more, there is more, there is more. You may try to drown it with entertainment, with distractions, with excuses, but it will not go away. The alarm will keep ringing because destiny does not give up on you. Daily life is filled with examples. A student who ignores the alarm of studying will fail when exams come. An employee who ignores the alarm of improving his skills will be replaced by someone who is ready. A husband or wife who ignores the alarm of love and communication will watch their home collapse. Every area of life has alarms, and those who ignore them pay the price. Destiny always rings before disaster. Imagine if you lived every day with the consciousness that right now, the alarm of destiny is ringing. What conversation would you stop entertaining? What habit would you break? What bold step would you take? What dream would you finally pursue? Because the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will never be a moment when everything is in place. The only right time is now. That is why the alarm is ringing now. The danger is that alarms do not ring forever. If you keep silencing them, they grow faint until you no longer hear them. And when that happens, life becomes an endless routine, a cycle without fulfillment. But if you choose to rise when the alarm rings, you step into a new season where everything begins to make sense. Every delay, every pain, every question suddenly connects to the bigger picture. Destiny has an alarm, and right now, it is sounding louder than ever. In your heart, in your mind, in your circumstances, it is calling you to rise, to act, to step out of slumber. Every second you wait is a second lost, and every second you respond is a second gained in alignment with your future. The alarm is ringing, and it is not tomorrow, it is not someday, it is now. Every delay in life is a product of spiritual slumber. Think carefully about this. Life was designed with times and seasons. There are moments when doors are supposed to open, when relationships are supposed to align, when opportunities are supposed to manifest. But many times those seasons come and go, and a person finds themselves stuck, delayed, wondering why life seems slow, why others are moving and they are not. The truth is not always that God has denied them. It is that they were asleep when the moment came. Imagine missing a train at the station. The train arrives at the exact time, the doors open wide, the engine waits for a few minutes. But because you are asleep at home, you miss it. Later you wake up, rush to the station, and discover the train is gone. Now you will have to wait for hours for another one, or sometimes the opportunity never comes again. That is how destiny works. When you are spiritually asleep, you cannot discern when it is your time. And every time you miss those moments, delay sets in. Look at life. How many people delay their education because they were distracted when they should have been focused? How many delay success in business because they ignored discipline when it mattered most? How many delay meaningful relationships because they could not discern the right person at the right time? All of these are not always accidents. They are the fruits of spiritual slumber. Slumber makes you comfortable with mediocrity. You say, I will do it tomorrow. You say, I still have time. You tell yourself, let me enjoy now, I will focus later. And by the time you realize years have passed, a young person of 18 thinks they have all the time in the world, but they close their eyes and suddenly they are 30. still trying to figure life out. Delay has already set in. Slumber blinds your eyes to opportunities. Sometimes the opportunity of a lifetime does not come dressed in glamour. It comes looking ordinary. Maybe it is that small business idea. Maybe it is that humble friendship. Maybe it is that job offer that looks insignificant. But when you are asleep spiritually, you ignore it. Later you see someone else take the same opportunity and rise, and you wonder why life delayed you. Slumber also silences your hunger. When you are awake, you desire more, you stretch, you push yourself beyond limits. But when you are asleep, comfort becomes your prison. You tell yourself, at least I am surviving, at least I am eating, at least I have a place to stay. Yet deep within, you know you are capable of more. The delay is not outside you. The delay is inside you, created by a sleeping spirit. Think of the story of a farmer. If a farmer sleeps during planting season, he will cry during harvest. The ground does not care if he was tired. The season does not wait for his excuses. When the rains come, if he is not awake to plant, nothing will grow for him. Then at harvest time, while others are gathering plenty, he will be delayed, waiting for another year to try again. Many lives are like that farmer. They miss their planting season and now harvest looks far away. Look at daily life examples. The student who slumbers through classes, wasting time with distractions, will face delay when results are released. The employee who slumbers when it is time to learn new skills will face delay when promotion opportunities come. The couple who slumbers when it is time to build intimacy will face delay when storms test the marriage. In every area of life, delays are born from slumber. You must understand that time is not neutral. Every day that passes is either taking you closer to destiny or dragging you further away. Slumber steals time silently. You think you are only resting for a while, only ignoring your goals for a season, only postponing action until later. But when you finally wake up, you discover how much has been lost. Slumber makes you believe you still have time, but destiny is not controlled by your comfort. While you are sleeping, others are awake, building, growing, advancing. And when you finally wake up, you realize you have to start from far behind. That gap you see in life, that distance between where you are and where you should have been, is the measure of delay caused by slumber. The tragedy is not that God has not blessed you. The tragedy is that sleep kept you from walking into it on time. Every delay is not just the work of enemies outside. Sometimes the enemy is your own slumber. Every time you choose distraction over focus, every time you choose fear over faith, every time you choose comfort over sacrifice, you press pause on your own destiny. And life does not wait for you to press play again. Awakening requires hunger for more. Nothing in life changes for a person who is satisfied with where they are. The truth is, hunger is the fuel of destiny. The moment you stop desiring more, you stop growing. Have you noticed that every breakthrough in life begins with dissatisfaction? No one rises until they first look at where they are and say, I cannot remain like this. Hunger is what makes a man leave comfort in search of greatness. Think about it. When a child is hungry, they cry. They don't care what time it is. They don't care if the mother is busy or tired. That hunger pulls the mother to respond. In the same way, when your spirit becomes truly hungry for change, heaven has no choice but to respond. God never ignores genuine hunger. The reason many people are asleep is because they are too comfortable. Comfort can be a silent killer of destiny. You may not like your situation, but as long as you can manage it, as long as you can survive, you remain there. But when hunger rises, you begin to stretch, you begin to move, you begin to demand more from life. Awakening requires that fire inside that says, I refuse to end my life on this level. Look at daily life. The student who hungers for success will study when others are sleeping. They will practice when others are distracted. They will ask questions when others remain silent. That hunger sets them apart, and when the results come, they are ahead. The athlete who hungers for victory will train in the rain, in the sun, even in pain. While others relax, hunger drives him forward. Later, people celebrate the gold medal, but it was hunger that produced it. Hunger is what separates ordinary people from extraordinary people. Two men may have the same resources, the same opportunities, but one will rise higher simply because he's hungrier. Have you ever wondered why some people with less talent succeed more than others with great talent? The answer is hunger. Talent without hunger becomes wasted potential, but hunger without talent eventually creates skill. Hunger does not let you settle. Many people pray for awakening, but what they really need is hunger, because if you are truly hungry, you will search, you will knock, you will stretch until something happens. A man without hunger can sit in the presence of greatness and still remain the same, but a hungry man can sit in an ordinary place and draw wisdom, draw strategies, draw answers that change his life. Look at the stories of those who changed the world. They were not born with everything, but they were hungry. Some were born in poverty, but hunger for more made them dream. Some were rejected, but hunger for more made them persist. Some failed many times, but hunger for more made them try again. Hunger is that voice inside that whispers, there is more, don't stop here. Do you know why some people stop halfway in life? Because their hunger died. They tasted a little success and thought that was enough. They bought a car, built a house, got applause, and hunger left them. So they settled and life passed them by. But those who remain hungry, even after achieving much, keep rising, they keep stretching because they know there is always more. Think of water. When you are thirsty, you will not stop until you find it. You will walk far, you will pay any price, you will endure discomfort just to quench that thirst. Hunger for destiny works the same way. Until you are thirsty enough, you will keep giving excuses. But when hunger truly grips you, excuses die. Hunger is what wakes you up early in the morning while others sleep. Hunger is what keeps you learning while others waste time. Hunger is what makes you invest in yourself when others are comfortable wasting money. Hunger is what forces you to say no to distractions because you know what you are pursuing. Every revival in history, every great movement, every personal transformation started with hunger. A man looked at his life and said, there must be more than this. And he refused to settle. Awakening does not answer to wishes, it answers to hunger. When you become desperate enough, life will begin to shift in your favor. Opportunities will find you, mentors will appear, strength will rise, because heaven responds to hunger. Awakening requires hunger for more. Without it, you will always excuse your situation. You will always say, one day things will change, one day I will rise, one day I will try. But hunger does not wait for one day. Hunger says today, now, this is my moment. Hunger breaks fear, hunger silences doubt. Hunger gives courage to do what others say is impossible. Hunger is the price you pay for awakening. True awakening will always demand sacrifice. There is no genuine rising without letting go of something. Every man and woman you admire today, everyone who has broken limitations and stepped into destiny, did so at a cost. The tragedy is that many want awakening without paying the price. They want greatness while still holding on to comfort. But destiny does not work like that. Life will always ask, what are you willing to give up in order to rise? Sacrifice is the proof of seriousness. If you say you want change, but you are not ready to sacrifice time, energy, habits, or relationships, then you are only wishing. Wishes never change a life, sacrifice does. A student who truly awakens to the reality of success cannot continue sleeping all night and scrolling all day. Sacrifice means putting away the phone, shutting down the distractions, and burning the midnight oil. And when the results come, people call them lucky, but it was sacrifice that produced the success. Look at daily life. The athlete who wins the medal sacrifices comfort. While others are sleeping, he is running. While others are eating without discipline, he is controlling his diet. While others are celebrating, he is sweating. The crowd only sees the victory on stage, but the real price was paid in secret through sacrifice. Awakening demands that same principle. You cannot carry the weight of destiny with a casual life. Think about a farmer. During planting season, he sacrifices his seeds. Those seeds could have been eaten, but he puts them in the ground, trusting that tomorrow will bring a harvest. That sacrifice is painful because it looks like loss, but it is actually investment. In the same way, every sacrifice you make in the season of awakening feels painful at first. Waking up earlier than everyone else, cutting off wrong relationships, denying yourself pleasures, investing in learning, praying when your body is tired, working when no one is clapping. It feels like loss, but it is the price of destiny. Sacrifice will always separate the awakened from the sleeping. Two people may have the same opportunities, but one is willing to sacrifice and the other is not. One spends time learning, growing, building discipline, while the other wastes time chasing comfort. Years later, the difference will be undeniable. Sacrifice is the invisible ladder that takes men from where they are to where they should be. The truth is, sacrifice is not easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But what makes it powerful is that only a few are willing to pay. That is why only a few step into greatness. Many admire the crown but despise the cross. Many want the testimony but avoid the process. Yet destiny does not bend its rules. If you truly want awakening, you must ask yourself, what am I willing to lay down? Sometimes sacrifice means letting go of relationships that drain your focus. You love them, but you know they are pulling you backward. Sacrifice means choosing to be misunderstood, choosing to stand alone for a season, because you see what others do not see. Sacrifice may mean taking the road of discipline when everyone else is laughing and mocking. But those who mock today will celebrate tomorrow, because sacrifice never lies. Every great story is written with the ink of sacrifice. The inventor who stayed awake night after night, failing, trying again while others gave up. The young man who denied himself pleasures to build a business that would later employ thousands. The mother who worked 2 jobs to send her children to school. These are the silent sacrifices that create awakening and transformation. Awakening is not for the casual, it is for the sacrificial. If you want to carry light, you must be willing to pay the price of burning. If you want to carry wisdom, you must sacrifice hours in learning. If you want to carry impact, you must sacrifice comfort and give yourself wholly to your assignment. The awakened life is costly, but it is worth every price you pay. Sacrifice is the language destiny understands, and until you are willing to speak it, your awakening will remain a dream. No matter the wasted years, God can restore them. This truth is one of the most liberating revelations you can ever embrace in your journey of life. Many people walk around with a heavy heart, constantly looking back at their past, rehearsing the mistakes they made, the opportunities they missed, the wrong choices that cost them time. Regret becomes a chain around their soul. They say to themselves, if only I had studied harder, if only I had invested earlier, if only I had married wisely, if only I had started sooner. Their lives are filled with if only. But listen carefully, no matter the wasted years, God can restore them. Time is the most valuable resource you have because once it passes, you cannot physically get it back. But the mystery of God's power is that He is not limited to the boundaries of time. He can compress what should have taken 10 years into 1 year. He can lift you in one encounter beyond what your effort could have produced in decades. This is why you should never look at your past and conclude that your future is finished. Think about daily life. Have you ever seen someone who looked like they were far behind suddenly overtake everyone else? Maybe in school there was a student who failed and repeated classes, but when they finally woke up, they surpassed those who once mocked them. Maybe in business there was a man who lost everything, but when restoration came, he rose higher than those who never fell. Restoration means you do not end where your mistakes left you. It means God has the ability to rewrite your story and put you where you should have been if you had never wasted time. There are people who wasted years in wrong relationships, giving their time, energy, and love to someone who did not value them. When it ended, they felt empty, broken, and too old to start again. But restoration says it is not too late. One right connection, one right person, one right decision can heal the pain of years and give you joy as if you never lost time. There are people who wasted years in addiction. Maybe they wasted their teenage years drowning in drugs, alcohol, or habits that ate away their strength, and now they look back with shame, thinking they cannot recover. But restoration means God can give you back clarity, focus, and opportunities that even those who never struggled may not have. Restoration is not just replacing what you lost, it is multiplying it. Imagine a farmer who missed planting for 3 years. If he plants again in the 4th year and God restores him, his harvest can be so great that it covers for the years of loss. That is what God does with destiny. Life may have delayed you, mistakes may have slowed you, but delay is not denial. Every scar you carry can become a story that inspires others. Every failure you endured can become wisdom that guides generations. When God restores, He does not only give you back time, He gives you back honor, relevance, and impact. You see it in daily life examples. A man loses his job and spends years searching. Then one day a door opens, and in 5 years he rises to a level that takes others 20 years to reach. A woman battles rejection for years, but when she is restored, she finds love and peace that makes the pain of the past fade away. This is why you must never bury yourself in regret. Regret chains you to yesterday, but restoration pulls you into tomorrow. You cannot change the fact that years have passed, but you can believe that God is able to compress time. And when He does, your story will look as though nothing was wasted. No matter how wasted your years have been, no matter how much time you think you have lost, no matter how many wrong turns you took, God can restore them. Awakening is the beginning of transformation. Every great change you admire in the life of any man or woman started the day they woke up. Transformation does not begin with money. It does not begin with position. It does not even begin with talent. It begins the day a person says to themselves, enough of living below my potential, enough of sleep, enough of wandering. Awakening is when the eyes of your spirit open and you realize that life is not supposed to be like this. There is more, there is better, there is higher. Think of a person living in a dark room for years. They got used to the darkness, they arranged their life around it, they stopped expecting light. Then suddenly one day, a switch is flipped and light floods the room. Everything looks different. The space they thought was small is actually bigger. The obstacles they kept stumbling over can now be avoided. What changed? The room was the same, but light brought awakening, and awakening birthed transformation. This is how life works. You can live years in cycles, repeating the same mistakes, fighting the same battles, staying at the same level, until awakening comes. Once you are awakened, your mindset begins to shift, and that shift is the real foundation of transformation. A man can never rise above the level of his mind. Until your mind awakens, your life will remain in circles. Look at daily life examples. A student who has been playing around, wasting time ignoring studies, suddenly sees their classmates excelling. One day it hits them, I cannot continue like this. That awareness is awakening. From that day they start to read, they start to stay disciplined, they start to focus. Gradually, transformation shows in their results. It did not begin with books, it began with awakening. Another example is a person stuck in poverty. They keep blaming everyone, blaming family, blaming government, blaming circumstances. One day, while walking on the street or listening to a word, something stirs within them and they say, I will not die like this. I may not have much, but I will start with what I have. That decision is awakening. From there, they start saving, they start planning, they start working on ideas. Years later, people see transformation and call it a miracle. But the miracle began the day awakening happened. Awakening changes the way you see yourself. When you are asleep spiritually, you underestimate your potential. You think small, you speak small, you live small. But once you awaken, you realize you were never ordinary. You realize that the treasures of greatness are inside you. This is the root of transformation, because a man who sees himself differently will act differently. And a man who acts differently will inevitably live differently. Awakening also exposes the lies you have believed. Many people are not transformed because they are living by wrong beliefs. They believe life is unfair. They believe they can never succeed. They believe only certain people are chosen for greatness. Those beliefs keep them bound. But when awakening comes, those lies break. You suddenly see that with discipline, with faith, with persistence, you too can rise. That shift bursts transformation. Consider a person addicted to bad habits. They try to stop many times, but they always fall back. One day, in the quiet of their thoughts, they awaken. They say, this habit is destroying me. I cannot let it rule me anymore. That awakening becomes the seed of change. From that day, they take steps, they find accountability, they fight back. Slowly, the habit loses its grip and transformation begins to show. Awakening is not dramatic. Sometimes it's a gentle realization. Sometimes it is a painful experience. Sometimes it is a word that pierces the heart. But no matter how it comes, once it happens, transformation is inevitable. Because when a person is truly awakened, they cannot remain the same. Their decisions change, their discipline changes, their focus changes, and all of this begins to reflect outward as transformation. This is why the most dangerous state in life is not failure, it is slumber. Failure can be recovered from, but slumber keeps you comfortable in failure. But the moment awakening breaks that slumber, transformation begins. It is the turning point, the beginning of a new chapter, the rise of a new version of you. Awakening is always the starting point, because without it, transformation is impossible, and with it, transformation is unstoppable. Life is a journey, and every journey is measured not just by the distance you cover, but by the courage you summon and the choices you make. The conclusion of every true awakening is not just knowledge, but action. Because knowledge without movement is like fire without heat. It exists, but it cannot change anything. You must decide today that this awakening will not pass you by. It is not enough to clap, to nod, or to say amen in your heart. You must rise, because the world does not remember those who slept through their potential. It remembers those who stood up and chose to live differently. Remember this, greatness is never accidental, it is intentional. People who inspire you did not stumble into transformation by mistake. They decided to fight when it was easier to surrender. They decided to build when it was easier to complain. They decided to believe when it was easier to doubt. Every dream you carry, every vision hidden in you, every possibility waiting for expression will remain dormant until you dare to decide. And when you decide, life begins to open doors that seemed forever locked. Listen carefully, your pain can become your platform. The very battles that try to bury you can become the loudest testimony of your rising. There are people who will never believe in transformation until they see your story. So stop asking why me and start declaring watch me. Watch me rise from nothing. Watch me break through limitations. Watch me walk out of shame. Watch me rewrite my story. Many are waiting for perfect conditions, but there will never be a perfect day. There will never be a perfect time. The only perfect moment is now. Champions are not born in comfort. They are born in the chaos of challenges. The fire you are passing through today is not designed to kill you. It is designed to refine you. Gold does not shine until it has passed through fire, and you are no different. Every scar you carry will one day shine as proof that you survived, and not just survived, but you conquered. Hear me, it is never too late to start again. Do not let the clock of life deceive you. History has shown us that some of the greatest victories came from those who refused to quit even when time was against them. What destroys men is not the weight of failure, it is the decision to stop trying. Fall 7 times, but rise 8. Cry if you must, but do not quit. Crawl if you must, but move, because the difference between where you are and where you dream to be is not distance, it is persistence. And to those who think they are too small to make a difference, let me remind you, a single spark can burn an entire forest. You may be one voice, but one voice can ignite nations. You may be one idea, but one idea can shift generations. You may be one step away from the version of you the world has been waiting for. Never despise your little beginnings, because greatness is always born in the hidden places before it is revealed in the open. Your awakening must translate into hunger. Hunger for growth, hunger for excellence, hunger for impact. A man without hunger will settle for mediocrity, but a man who is hungry will shake the earth until it gives him what he demands. Refuse to settle, refuse to shrink, refuse to bow to fear. Let your hunger push you when strength fails. Let your hunger remind you that there is more. Let your hunger drive you until you become everything you were created to be. Understand this, fear is the greatest thief of destiny. Many people have died with their dreams because they were afraid to try. Fear will whisper that you are not ready. Fear will tell you that you will fail. Fear will show you 1,000 reasons why you should stay down. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward in spite of fear. When you walk through fear, fear becomes fuel. So rise because the world is waiting. Rise because your family is counting on you. Rise because within you is a solution that nations are searching for. Rise because your light is not meant to stay hidden. There is a seat with your name on it. There is a crown designed for your head. There is a territory waiting for your influence. Do not die empty. Do not leave this world without pouring out the greatness buried in you. If you can dream it, you can live it. If you can see it in your heart, You can hold it in your hands. Refuse to be defined by yesterday. Refuse to be limited by where you started. Refuse to allow anyone to write the last chapter of your story except you. Your destiny is not behind you, it is ahead of you. And the only permission life needs to release it is your decision to awaken and to rise. So today let these words echo in your heart like fire. Let them burn until complacency dies. Let them stir you until excuses break. Let them drive you until fear flees. Do not wait for another day. Do not wait for another season. The future you desire is calling, and it is calling now. Awaken, arise, and transform. Because the world will not remember you for the dreams you had. It will remember you for the courage you showed, for the battles you won, and for the greatness you chose to unleash.